I love just searching for you by typing in the @ symbol and then Mattsby. And since I follow you, it just pops right up every time.
Perfect. And we're live.
Hello, everybody. We're just getting the
Hello.
thing started here. I'm still refreshing my Mattsby screen. And there we are. I see it. I got the link.
Yep. And it should be up on YouTube as well.
And we are live. Join us. Man, so let's just chit chat about Bitcoin for a little bit here while people are filtering in.
Yeah. I got my Bitcoin chart. You got your Bitcoin chart. We all got Bitcoin charts.
Yeah, very exciting. For a long time, I had your level, I think right to this wick up here was sort of what we were looking at for the main resistance, even though it got over it and back under it. And then back here. Oh, why do I have all these pivots on? Yeah, so we got, Bitcoin trades 24 hours, so there's no gap in this, but, it had a big strong move overnight from here was at midnight, and then by 4 a.m. from midnight to 4, it brought up this nice big green candle, nice and tall. It looks like now it's it's resisting at 63,227, which it's just starting to climb the top of this thing. There's the very first little bit right there, then the next one's there, and then there. Then you got this big sell order block up here. And then you go back farther. Yeah, it's just really looking back only this far, I'd say right now.
Yeah, so it looks like the next magnet for price could be 64K. Yeah.
Woohoo! Yep, right up to the sell wall here.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so we probably have enough people here to talk about. Let's. Why don't you say that thing that you were telling me before we started the show about the gaps?
Yeah, I can go show my screen here.
As I was saying to everybody, we pretty much gapped up on everything except Bitcoin, which trades 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so, what do you think about these? How is the market going to treat these gaps, Mattsby? What do you think?
Well, so yesterday it looks like they wanted to fake people out, close it a little bit lower, like it's not going to break out. But just looking at the daily chart here, it's going to gap up to all-time highs. And usually when I see a gap up to all-time highs for the SPY, it usually indicates a continuation. So I think possibly there could be some profit taken early morning just to close maybe a gap or something, and then maybe just come back up and continue higher and higher. So I think this could be the beginning of continuation into all-time high territory and beyond.
Yeah, and then there's that nasty trick, right, where maybe they won't even close the gap today. Maybe they'll just run and run and run for a little while.
Yeah,
Before it comes back down.
Then leave that little gap open right there.
Yep. Just leave it, and everyone will be looking. Retail will be looking down while the bankers and the institutional buyers are just buying it right on up and leaving them behind.
Yeah, I mean, what do they say too? They say that usually the first impulse move is the right one, and since yesterday was like the first impulse was to go green, that was the correct move. So that's why price corrected and went back up today, because the first move is usually correct, and who cares if they faded it, because that meant nothing at all.
And then and then of course Friday's a big triple witching day, and I don't really have any idea what the weekly, monthly levels are supposed to be targeted for different stocks. I know what the weekly close is going to be, max pain is, but I don't know what the monthly max pains are. But we got triple witching day on Friday, and you're probably looking for a higher close, right, on most of your candles. Yeah, like a close the bottom above levels.
Yeah, like SPY, I'm looking at all-time high weekly close. So I want to see this weekly candle. Like, it looks like a little doji candle now, but it's getting filled completely right now. So it's going to be one of those, maybe not one of those, what is it, Marabazu or whatever?
Yeah, Monobatsu.
Yeah, kind of close to that. But
Morobozu.
yeah, So the SPY looks great. The QQQ, it's also gapping up, but where is it gapping up to? It's just previous all-time highs, right? So that's not gapping up into all-time highs. So that still is stuck under resistance. So still a little bit of caution there as price gets higher and higher into the 485 zone. So possibly it can get there today, but not sure if it can break the whole week into all-time highs, right? Well, actually, the all-time highs is up here at 500. So yeah, I don't know if that's going to get all the way up there, but there's possibly going to make a higher high from that 485 right there.
For the QQQ is what we're looking at here
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, the QQQ.
I see VicVin just asked that question again. Do you see any final pullbacks coming for BTC proxies, or are they going to run up from here for a while?
Like the miners and stuff, I think they've been all holding their support. None of them made lower lows from the August 5th, and essentially that was the bottom. And I think what they did is they broke out from the bottom, they hit resistance, then they went to go find a new higher low, and I think they found that. And now price is probably going to go up along with Bitcoin. So as long as Bitcoin maintains the momentum and doesn't crash on us, which it looks like it will be, because I'll just go back to Bitcoin right here and just show what really happened. Like during the last hour of trading, it just kept on going higher and higher and higher yesterday, and it closed above my orange level. It closed above the 100. So once I saw that daily candle close yesterday, I'm like, that's most likely going higher, because they just kept pushing up price to go higher and higher. So I think, and there's more confluence of that 64,000 zone up there. The 200-day moving average is at 63,980. So I think there could be more momentum to 64,000 now and towards these previous highs as well. But really, I need to see a breakout from these previous highs to continue higher, because if not, it's just going to be another lower high here from here. And I don't want to see more lower highs. I want to start seeing some higher highs to get more conviction. But yeah, essentially, I think miners, the bottoms are in, but they need to break. The big Bitcoin needs to break out into higher highs, not all-time highs, but at least higher highs for the continuation of the miners.
It's interesting. Did you see that little story that said Trump went to some Bitcoin bar and made a big transaction last night? I saw that just right after I saw Bitcoin going up. I was like, well, that's interesting.
I saw another post this morning like, oh, and by the way, that transaction is still pending.
That's the irony. I love that $64,000 level, because it's a pop culture reference for me to the $64,000 pyramid, and you get the $64,000 question.
Yeah.
Kim Kitty said, "You guys are so much better than watching Jim Cramer rants on CNBC at 9 a.m."
But what about Meet
Kitty.
Kevin and his live show? Come on, it's great.
No. Well, they're missing that too, aren't they?
Yeah. And before we go to SOFI here, I'm going to go look at the IWM, and it's not gapping up this morning on a day-to-day basis right here.
The Russell 2000 small caps.
Yeah, the Russell 2000. See, it's not gapping up right there. It's basically right where the wick was yesterday, kind of near the top. But if it does open in this range, it would be like opening higher from these highs over here. So that would be great for continuation as well. So, and it's also above my 221 level that I've been talking about forever. So I think that is great. And maybe that 221 can be the support for now on for that continuation higher for IWM. So I don't have any complaints with that one, but I'll just take a look at SOFI real quick since somebody brought it up. It's at 840 pre-market, and how long before it sells off? Well, this is what I'm looking at, and I'm looking at a potential weekly candle close above the cloud, and right now it's gapping up above the cloud on the weekly chart. So I do like me some price on top of the weekly cloud, and so far the whole momentum, like you can see for this week, and now this week was finally able to break through. So maybe the third time is the charm, right? And so I think price can go up to maybe that 910 level that I have up there in 909, which is kind of like a previous high. So how long before it sells off? Maybe it won't. Maybe it will just keep on going until the $9 range, and then it'll sell off, right?
I have a SOFI chart to share.
All right, I'll pull you up.
Here is SOFI on a daily chart, and I've already identified this miner. There's where it bottomed out at 601, and then it made a higher high to 828, and then a lower low, a higher low to 676. And it's already broken above the prior wave one. So it's in wave, well, this is all wave two now. It had a wave three, minor one, minor two. It's in the heart of the third wave now. And my projection is for it to go to 994 next, test back to about 914, and then on up to 1125. So there you go. It should just run on from here. On the way to get to 992, I mean, you can go up and go down and up and down. But generally, you could stay in this, and you should see it get to 992, test back to about 918, and then 1125. And that's just the start of the first wave three one. The real heart of the giant third wave doesn't begin until 863 to 1549. That's it. So you could buy it now, and then it'll never test back lower than what it's going to do, as long as everything else is breaking out. And that's SOFI. Do you mind if I run Tesla real quick?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and for me, one last thing about SoFi is just
Okay.
basically if it closes the week above like 830 or around current price, then it's going to go higher. That's what I think. So just watch that 830 level going into the weekly candle close, and if it stays above that, in my opinion, it's going to go higher.
Very cool. Oh yeah,
Go
the
ahead with
previous
Tesla.
right, because 830 was what I identified the wave one top here for
Yeah.
the subwave. All right, so that's SoFi. Tesla here. I've drawn up just a new sort of a clean chart to track what happens today. What I've got here on the left-hand side are retracement levels from, I gotta make it bigger, from the 138.80 low. So basically, we had the 271 high, right? So if you trace it back to the to the 138.80 low, that's these fibs, and then you have the inverse fibs that go up and up and up from there. And on the right side are fib extensions, where 138.80 was the low to the 271 high and back to the 182 low. And then, so these are Fibonacci extension ratios coming up off the 182. A typical extension that I always love to see for Tesla or any stock really, off this 182 low would be a high of 283, a test back to 232.50, and then on up to break the $300 barrier to 364.70. So I'll be looking for 283 next. We already had a bunch of the resistance around here, around this 382 level of 232.50. We kind of explored that a lot. So that might be a nice sharp wave too. So yeah, let's see if we start making new higher highs over, and then the other one I want to talk about right here. The next test back it's going to look at are, the first initial paper resistance is right here, about 237. It's the bottom of this wick right here on from July 19th. That low of 236.83. So that's where it's going to kind of shirk a little bit, or maybe it'll just blast through. But that's the very first higher test that's got to do.
I can see it closing that. I can see it closing that gap today too.
Yeah. It made a gap once upon a time, then blew through the gap, and so now it's got to kind of test back up to it again. Now this is an exciting day. I'll go ahead and buy in at the open, and then I'm all cash buying in. So if it goes all wonky and starts to test down, I can sell off real fast if I need to. But I'll go ahead and buy in this morning, and we'll see how if we can go up from here.
Yeah, it's not really a gap up per se because it's not above what it was yesterday. But
That's true. It's just an after hours pre-market gap, but
yeah,
it doesn't really change what price testing has been doing.
no,
Right
it's
here.
still in that range, and still that 200-week moving average is at 235, right above. So got to get above that really. But I'll show you what I'm looking at mainly now.
Go right ahead.
What I'm looking at mainly for Tesla is my linear scale again. This blue angle is what I'm focused on again. The previous big support and resistance zone of the past, way back when, since 2020 really was its first resistance. And now it's let me get these off. And now it looks like it wants to get above. So my focus, if it doesn't even get above that 235 today, the SMA up there, the 235.59, the 200 week, then that's fine. I kind of just wanted to get above the angle again. And that angle kind of sits around 231, we'll say, just roundabout there. So just getting on top of that angle again, just building a base to get higher to eventually explode. So best case scenario, get above all resistance, right? But at
Right.
least I want to see it stay above this 231 of that angle, because then it'll get it back to support, and then it can go build that base and go higher, higher, higher. And next week, if it did shoot up, the ARK does sit up there around 275. So I mean, that could be the next possibility in the future, and depending on time, could be the 260s or so. And if it was like maybe in October or so, that would be right around the previous high there, maybe October 14th, where it kind of meets that arc, this previous high. So possibly we could see just building a base before it gets up there as well. But I'm focusing on flipping this angle to a support more than I am just that 200 a week moving average, because that may or may not close above, but at least I want to see it close above that angle. So that's what I'm focused on for the rest of the week.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Somebody asked for NVIDIA earlier. We should look at NVIDIA real quick.
Yes, let's look at NVIDIA.
And then we'll hit all the other requests if you want. It's your show. I'm sorry. I don't mean to direct. I'm
How
a
dare
guest.
you.
I'm a guest here.
No, it's okay. Let's see here. Go. Where's my NVIDIA? There it is. Yeah, so NVIDIA, it's still below my level, right? This is my log scale level of like the 222 zone, and it's still above it, right? But weekly candles are still above all support as well. So it's, in my opinion, it's just still stuck in a range from that 110, 111 zone all the way up to the 122. That's the range for me, and it's not going to change until one of those really breaks. So we'll just pay attention to that range, and possibly this could be the week where it wants to get back above 122. I'm not sure, but that's the level I'm really focused on for NVIDIA in order to get a continuation higher. But even still, even if it gets to 124, 125, 126, 8, whatever, it's still going to be a series of lower highs. And I need to see, just like Bitcoin, I want to see a higher high in order to confirm that it wants to go to these next levels above into the 200s. So until that happens, it's just trending sideways, in my opinion.
All right.
You have one chart?
No. Well, yours is good. Well,
Okay.
we'll stick with yours.
Meet Mattsby, D City. Yeah, you got. Yeah, isn't he like runs a promotion now? Meet Kevin. Like, I think if you buy one of his programs for like $10,000, he'll fly you out on his private jet to go meet him or something. That's it. That's his gimmick right now. So a $10,000 meet and greet. I don't know if it's worth it. Let's see here. We had something else, didn't we? Or no?
Let's see. I'm going back through here. There's a Rocket Lab request.
Oh yeah, Rocket Lab. Yeah. RKLB. Yeah, so I've had that black line drawn for a long time now, and it finally touched it, I think, yesterday. I've had it up there for maybe a week, and yeah, so it's at resistance. Even this morning, it's still underneath it, right? Even it's not gapping up, and there's lots of resistance up there. So yes, the chart looks great. It's back above my arc here as well, but it's can't get above this previous high over here, and that's what I'm really focused on for Rocket Lab. And my level there is like 753 that I have marked, and yesterday it got to exactly 753. So and one thing I want to show, though, you can't really see it because it's hidden. There's a little purple 200 week moving average underneath there. You can kind of see it when I zoom out like there. And that's the formation of the 200 week. And it's above it, right? It's at 718. And the price currently pre-market is 727. So if it closes another week above it, then this could be like a breakout and like a back test of that 200 week moving average to then maybe build that higher base to finally break through that level. So just watch that 718 level on weekly candle closes. If it closes consecutive weeks above it, I think it can break through this resistance above and then get to the 840s, and then maybe my next level up there around 1020. So I think that is something to really watch for, 718, because it did have a very impulsive move last week, up a big 28%, and now it's kind of back testing that zone right there. So that's something to watch out for.
Yeah, you don't have to switch my chart, but I'll just say $8.58 is where I see like a resistance level next. That's like the 161.8% fib extension off of the last low. Which is that where your green line is?
Well, yeah, my
858.
angle, it sits there on October 14th.
Yeah, so expect
Yeah.
that one to it'll show some resistance. It'll have to consolidate a little bit
hmm
for a short period of time, but it's most likely it's going to break out and go higher after that.
Yeah. And especially this breakout and back test of the 200 week that you can't really even see, but it's just forming. It looks really, really good for a continuation. It does. So I can't be hating on this one. It looks fabulous.
Oh man,
And
except
can you, somebody's
my
asking about
computer just
open door.
winked out on me, so I'm without my chart right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So we'll check out open door, I guess, really quickly. Somebody asked about it. Open the door. So open door pre-market 233. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, just the weekly chart. It just looks stuck. So I'm not sure if I'm too much of a fan of this one right now. But one thing that is looking okay is there is a series of higher lows, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low. So it is making higher lows, but it's not really breaking out, right? And it's getting rejected a lot by this 100-week moving average and the 50 and all of this stuff above. So maybe if it starts closing weekly candles above the 100 and the 50 there, maybe start above 262, then I can see a possible continuation higher. But until that happens, it's just going to be stuck under this resistance. And even better would be getting above the cloud too, but it's still not breaking out. It's still stuck, but not sure if this is ready to go yet or not. But if it starts closing above 262 on weekly candle closes, not just daily candle closes, then I think the possibility to continue higher would be there. Yeah. And let's see here.
I agree on that. I don't have my chart available right now because my computer's rebooting, but it does
Yeah.
look like it made a bottom, a nice higher high for a one, and then been an extended wave two down to when it hit 160 there. So that's where I'd
Yeah.
take my 1-2. So it's trying. It just like Matthew says, it's got to make a new higher high than it looks like it's 520, 530, 540.
Yeah.
And then I would buy it. And then I'd have some conviction.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So now we got some TNA here, and TNA is looking pretty good, right? It's above the weekly cloud, it's above the conversion line. And I think it's even almost a katana right there, too, what Kat would say, right? But it was, but I think now the conversion is a little bit above 41.55 and 41.49. So that being said, I think it's on its way to 53.06, the 200-week moving average. Yeah. So it's looking better and better for TNA, the small caps. And as long as IWM does well, and as long as IWM holds above 221, I think that can be the start of something very beautiful for TNA and IWM.
Very cool.
And I see
And then so if you
PayPal.
can't read the thing here, TNA is the 3x bullish ETF of the small caps.
Yeah.
So if you
3x
want
bull.
to, if our premise is that the small caps are really going to run, so TNA should be like playing with dynamite or playing with gasoline, playing with gasoline, cooking with gasoline. There you
Yeah,
go.
cookie with gasoline. You just accelerate everything, right?
That's
Love
right.
that leverage. Yeah.
I
I mean,
do. I love my
the time to
leverage.
do leverage is when things start to break out, because then the moves become more explosive, and the
Yes.
time decay and the fee decay doesn't really eat into it too much.
Nope.
So I see LUNR, LUNR. intuitive machines. This one is, I don't know. Is it kind of breaking out yet? Maybe, right? Pre-market 766. Where's 766? Like right around, it's right around the bottom of the cloud right now, pre-market. So it doesn't look like it's breaking out yet, but if I think it gets a weekly candle close above this 100, that would be for the first time ever, really, right? So that's a positive development for LUNR. And I think if it did do that and the next week had some follow through, then I think, yeah, it would be a bullish chart then. And then it could continue on top of the cloud and go higher and higher. Do you have a chart for this one, Tracker, or no?
I don't, you know what? It's getting kind of close to the market open. I'm just getting my computer rebooted here. I'm probably going to leave your show right about now, actually, and
Okay.
get my show set up early. Thank you so much for having me on your show yet again.
No
I hope we
problem.
can make this a regular thing. Oh,
Yeah.
before I go, I do want to say that I want to tease that I have my big interview with the CEO of Bullfrog AI this afternoon at 4. I'll be interviewing CEO Vin Singh and Bullfrog AI. I'm touting that it could be the Palantir of medicine. So tune
Nice.
in here on
Very
X.
nice.
Thanks, Matt.
All
Talk
right.
to you later.
Thanks, Tracker. Bye bye. And let's see here. So I see a PayPal request. And PayPal doing great things. Yeah, I've been telling my Patreon subscribers that once it gets above the blue arc here, it's probably going to do really good things. And this week is looking like the week to have this bullish engulfing candle close above the arc. And you can see in the past how important this arc has been. I'll just take up everything else because it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you can see it was a resistance right here. Resistance here, and now it's trying to flip it to support. So I think I can see great things happen, and we'll see where this weekly candle closes. Still have this resistance right here with the previous highs, right? We can just move it up a little bit higher right there. You can see this is a big resistance zone. All of these candles, this wick, right? So as price gets closer to $76, $77, it might run into some difficulties to break above because it is a previous resistance and still is, right? So it hasn't flipped that to support, but one step at a time, it's getting back above the arc here. And the more weekly candles that close above it, then the greater the chance to explode higher and higher. And in phase, yeah, I've been bullish on this one forever. And when I saw it hit this last week, when I hit the blue angle again, I'm like, that is an opportunity because it's going to go higher. And sure enough, now it is going higher, and we can put back on the Ichimoku there. And I can show you here that, well, let's see here. Yeah, I can show you that it's actually gapping up above all of this previous resistance and is trying to make it support now. So what I can see in the weeks to come is what I would like to see now is no more going beneath the cloud. Like it's done that. It broke out, it back tested, that's fine. So I want to see this baseline hold, the 118.42, and I want to see it continue higher. And then in the weeks to come, I want it to just get above the cloud, maybe in October, and then build that base and get up to the orange level into the 150s. So I see good things to come for in phase. It's just going to be probably a little bit more patience. Don't think it's going to like explode next week directly up there, simply because you can see all of these wicks right here, right here, right here, right here, all of these. It's going to be some resistance in the 130s, right? So just one level at a time, and at minimum, just stay above 118.42. And let's see here. AUR. Aurora, yeah. Or is it a crypto? Not sure if you're talking about Aurora or the crypto. So I'll let you respond to that one. But let me just take a look at the markets here. So yeah, SPY still at 570.81. It's gapping up. QQQ still at 482.55. That is also kind of gapping up a little bit from yesterday or from last week too. So it looks good, right? Things are looking better and better. IWM, what's it at? 224.64. We got less than 1 minute before the market open. And yeah, so IWM, like I said before, that's 3.618 fib extension level from the financial crisis of 2007. 221.48. That's what I really care about, closing above, and my arc here at the same time. So you can see it's been a resistance zone, but now I want it to be a support zone. So it doesn't matter really where it closes. Not really. It can close the week here or up at 226, 227, 228. It doesn't really matter to me as long as it closes the week above this 221 level right there and above my arc. So I think that's what matters most. So it can build that base to go higher. And the market just opened here. So we'll take a look at some things and we'll see. Yeah, so ARKK is up nice, right? Super nice. Look at that. It's breaking out of the cloud right now. It held that 50-week moving average this week the whole time. It's looking better and better. I can see it going back to 50s very, very easily. Maybe even the 51, 52, 53 up there as well. So really good developments with ARKK. Palantir still kind of stuck in resistance there. Yeah, the 30s, the 786. It's still technically resistance. We'll have to wait for a weekly candle close. And yeah, SMCI is on its way to 500, I think. And Tesla, yeah, everything's doing good. All the miners are doing well too. Mara's up $1. Nice. So AUR, we'll go back to that one real quick. And yeah, let's go to the weekly. Yeah, the weekly chart. It's looking pretty good, right? It's up. It's above all support for me. And what I can really point out for you guys right here is just using the previous bodies of these candles right here as a resistance right here. Lots of resistance there. So previous resistance breaking out towards that resistance. So I think it could have room to run until it gets to the 580s and then, or maybe even the $6 range up there. And that could be your resistance, but it looks like it wants to continue, especially since it's making higher weekly candle closes from previous levels too, even above this previous high over here as well. So good developments for AUR. And I can see it running towards the $6 zone before any serious resistance for it. So yeah, we'll do one final look at the markets here just to see. Yeah, Dow's at 530. Everything looks beautiful, right? Tomorrow's the big day though too. So yesterday was a big day. Tomorrow's also a big day with the triple witching, and could be a little bit more volatility, but things are looking like they're breaking out for a lot of things, right? The only things that are not breaking out yet is Tesla. It's still not breaking out above that resistance of 235. So let's see if it can do that by tomorrow. But yeah, everything else looks fantastic. Even Meta looks really good. It's also breaking out into all-time highs right now. And I think that was kind of apparent to me because of how this market symmetry looked, right? That 45-degree angle was holding as support perfectly, especially this back test of 500 last week held perfectly. So the continuation just made sense for Meta, and really the next level sit up here in the 700s. So I think that's where Meta is going. So yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow, and just pay attention to those levels. And I think as long as the continuation happens, which I think the SPY has a possibility of doing because it did break out today. So just look for the breakout. Let's look for tomorrow. Let's have a great weekly candle close tomorrow, and I'll see you guys